Hello, everyone, and good morning. We are here with our Sunday TTRPG day, and we have GM Josie back. Yay! Hello. For those of you who missed GM Josie's interview, it's on our YouTube channel, the VOD. But we're so excited to have her back in-house for... I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic? The game. City building... I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic? Did you say Street Magic? Somebody said it, and we're doing it. Yeah, if you're here for Kids on Bikes, apologies, but one of our players was unavailable, sick, out of commission this weekend. So we have the whole cast coming together another day for Kids on Bikes game. But yeah, we were supposed to have Kids on Bikes today, but it was not to be. So I thought, what better way to spend a Sunday morning than to create a city together? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh, hey, hang on, Josie. I don't know if they can hear you. Hold on. I might not have the right audio. Give me 1 second. I might have just been talking to myself on stream. One moment. Oh dear. This is what I get for trying to throw together an overlay. Okay, we're going to BRB so I can figure this out. 1 minute, we'll be right back. Technical difficulties. Okay, take 2 / maybe take 3, as our overlay has now decided it hates us.
I mean, maybe should I talk so you could see if the little bar is doing this thing?
Yeah, we got audio. Now we're missing our overlay. We're kind of like with our webcams all naked on stream right now without our little boxes.
I see.
Yeah. It's that kind of morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Sunday morning.
Good morning. Are we everyoneing again?
Yeah. We're audible.
Good morning.
Good morning. Josie, take away the intro, which we both did, but no one could hear you. You take it away. I'll mess with this overlay together.
Okay,
our powers combined.
So we're gonna play this game that I first heard about in a rest stop on my way back from Indiana last night when you asked me to play it. And I saw, like, you sent me the name of this game, and I was like, wait, what? Huh? And it's called I'm Sorry, Did You Say Street Magic? I'm sorry. Did you say Street Magic?
Josie, I just realized we had a whole bit about I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic? And no one could hear your side of it.
Well, hey,
earlier.
That's
I'm sorry, did
totally
you say
fine.
Street Magic?
No, you said Street Magic. And
No, it's all you.
so here's the thing about street magic. It conjures this image of like these like real crappy street magicians that are like hiding the card like in their sleeves and like not doing a good job of it. So now I've got that stuck in my head.
Yeah, me too. When I hear the title of this game, I like that though. I like that it evokes like this very whimsical uh feeling to it. Like
Yeah.
very like magical realism kind of a thing.
Which by itself is kind of an oxymoron.
Magical realism.
Yeah. Yeah. If you think about it, magic is inherently not like it's supernatural, it's exciting, it's like not real, like magic flying cars. Like if flying cars became a thing, that wouldn't feel magical anymore.
Oh my god, that's so true. Ugh, realism ruins everything.
I know, right? Right?
That's so depressing, Josie.
Okay, so that's a huge downer to start our game. I am very sorry. Did you say street magic?
I'm sorry, did you say street magic? Let's do the
No,
bit for
no.
real.
Did you say street magic?
I did, and we're doing it.
Okay. Okay.
So it's been a weekend. I tweaked my knee yesterday. I've had too much realism for my own good. I'm excited to be transported in our city building extravaganza this morning. Again, if you are here for Kids on Bikes, I think y'all heard me earlier, but we're rescheduling Kids on Bikes, but we are so lucky to have GM Josie with us to play. I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic? And to kick us off, we're going to read the kind of description of the game. Throughout chat today, I think we have a timer going where you can get the link for the game. And you can also follow us on Twitter, and in our posts, we've linked there as well if you're interested in playing this with your own players.
Is the
and
game
Josie,
free?
I think it's on itch. I think it's like a nominal amount to buy it.
Okay, dumb question. What is itch?
It's like a open marketplace where creators can get their content directly to players.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So it's like Amazon for RPG creators and like a whole bunch of other types of creators too, but that's what I am primarily on there for.
Okay, so I am technically going to have to check this out. We need a technically counter.
Adding it to the list.
Yeah, I know, right?
Adding it to the list. If we can get to 20 subs, I'm greatly improving the quality of the stream. That's my goal. All of the wish list items activated. New emotes activated.
Oh my goodness.
I know. You heard it here first. All right. Let's jump in here into our whimsical world of street magic. I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic is a city building story game? We take turns exploring our city. By the end of the game, we will have created a place that none of us could have imagined alone. Our agenda as players is to create a vibrant and multifaceted city, to fill that city with life and personality, and to expand on each other's ideas together. Unlike many tabletop games, I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic is played with without a game master or facilitator. This game goes back and forth between phases of independent and collaborative creation. At times, we will decide on certain aspects of the city as a group, and that includes you, chat, so get ready to collaborate with us. But on your turn, each of us has complete control over what we add to our city. So, to start us off, we're going to set the tone. So, in setting the tone, let me get to that page in our beautiful PDF here. Oh, and this game, by the way, is created by Caro Assertion. And again, I'll find that link, but it's living in various places, as is.
I assert that that is a phenomenal last name.
It really is. Okay, so setting the tone. So the first part of creating our city is establishing its tone, the color and texture of the settings we want to explore. As a table, let's decide on 3 adjectives that will set the mood of our city. We should pick at least one from the list below, but we don't have to limit ourselves to these options. So essentially, we've got like this whole laundry list of adjectives. Let's see if I can put these in chat.
And I suggest that you choose one, I choose one, and chat chooses one.
Oh my God, I love it.
If there's anyone in chat at this point.
Yes, there are. And we've got Mana in the house. Mana was our player that was kids on biking it this weekend with us until she is out of commission. I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, no.
I hope you're feeling better. Sending you lots of love.
Please feel better. I don't want to get on a huge tangent here, but kids on bikes, it like invokes this image of like an 8-year-old street gang driving down the suburbs, like
not far off. Not far
okay.
off. It's like
Okay.
Stranger Things kind of a vibe.
I see.
Mm-hmm. All right, Josie, would you mind kicking us off in Miro, picking your adjective? Chat, I threw some adjectives in there as well. Help us create our city. Don't feel limited by this list, but just as an idea, these are some of the words they proposed.
So I'm going to drag this little sticky up here, and I'm going to write,
where's your sticky?
Oh, I dragged it.
Josie, put it in the middle.
What? Where is the middle?
Over here.
Oh, okay. There. It's in the middle. Okay. Happy now?
Yes.
This city is sarcastic.
Ooh, chat's got ethereal.
Okay. I like that one.
Love it. Oh, there's the link. Sea Excursion. That's what I couldn't remember. seaexcursion.itch.io for the creators page if you guys are interested in this game.
We are on page 12 of the rulebook, which is, I think, page 14 if you want to follow along with us.
What's my word? What's my word?
All of a sudden I'm here like, this is a classroom. Turn to page 12 of your textbook.
I'm thinking... It's been a goofy morning for me. Let's see. I kind of like the image of it being cramped. Like, it doesn't have to...
dense?
Yeah, like very dense, very like... I don't know, almost like a Katamari Damacy ball that's been like compressed and like everything is kind of like connected in some way.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Something like spatially.
Like, you're talking about spatially, not like network-wise. It's not necessarily that everything's connected, but like there's not a whole lot of physical space.
It could be either, I guess, depending on where you are in the city.
Okay. Okay.
The Celestial Scramble in chat says ethereal and cramped is really interesting. Yeah, I want to see what we do with that.
Okay. Okay.
Tell me more about sarcastic. Because, like, for me, that I think right away of, like, the citizens of this place, but can...
So, I was thinking it's kind that there's the citizens that are involved in, like, the sarcasm, but that leads to, like, a place named something that has absolutely nothing to do with that thing. Like, a dock, the docks area that, like, has no water at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I was going with that in my mind.
Like, ironic?
Yeah.
Like Alanis Morissette, ironic?
Oh, God. So don't get me started on the definition of the word ironic. We've been there. I'm not going to go down that road. but the concept of not not like I don't know how to say this in one adjective. Like it's someone looking from outside the city. It just doesn't make sense. That there's no there asinine. That's better.
I hear what you're saying, but asinine seems like it's pointless, but like the dock would still have like a purpose being there, even if it doesn't have
Yeah,
water in
that's
it.
true. That's true.
Oh, what is the word for that though? Where it's
I want to
like an
say like
I keep
poorly.
yeah, I keep coming back to like oxymoron, but that's not right either. Like
I, WTF? Like
with function though, right? Like form
yeah,
versus function.
yeah,
Do you want
like
to just go with that
uh,
phrase? Form versus
uh,
function?
functional.
Non-functional. Questionable functionality. Cool.
We're ridiculous. We're already breaking the rules of this game.
No, the rules say that you do not have to be limited to the list. So we're in the rule set. We're good.
Okay, okay.
Cool, cool, cool. Oh man, now chat's getting spammed by my bot.
Oh,
We'll
geez.
tone down the
Turn
bot.
it down.
Turn down
Turn
that
it down.
bot enthusiasm.
I
All
feel
right.
like I have to open chat, but I'm not going to.
All right, so once you've settled on 3 adjectives, questionable functionality, ethereal, and cramped, write them on index cards, place them at the center of the table, not at a rakish angle off to the right, Josie.
What?
I'm just laughing that you put the index card like super
Oh, yeah,
far.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I didn't know what the center was. This is my first time using this weird app.
All right, let's see. So we use these words to start a brief conversation about our city. Let's come up with a big picture idea. Is it modern, riffing on a city that we're all familiar with? Is it set in the past or in a strange, speculative future? Do ghosts exist? Do robots? Do talking animals? So the discussion will be brief because we don't want to get too in the weeds, but we want to advocate for our own interests and pay attention to what's interesting to other people. But we're painting in very broad brush strokes here. So, chat, I
Okay.
welcome you to participate as well. But what is the tone of our city?
So, ethereal makes me think magic definitely exists. And, like, cramped makes me think this, like, post-apocalyptic, like, people are stuck in these cities.
Well, if it's post-apoc, what was the apocalypse?
Oh, God, I don't know. We can figure that out later.
Okay.
Keep it broad.
Keeping
Keep
it broad.
it broad.
Nothing's broader than the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was the first thing you said? I'm sorry.
Like magic definitely exists.
Oh, yes. Ghosts. Yeah, Mana says with ethereal, I think we need ghosts for sure.
Yep. And maybe it's still set in like D&D-ish era, even though it was post-apocalyptic. Like there was some apocalypse that, you know.
Like a time rift?
Like what?
A time rift?
Oh, I don't know. But either way, I'm imagining these people stuck in this city, unable to leave.
Okay. So some sense of being stuck in the city.
Yeah.
Almost like a Stephen King bubble situation where like something is happening inside.
Yeah, you know what? what I was thinking about was that terrible Final Fantasy movie, Spirits Within,
Oh, I remember
where
that.
you go outside and you're attacked by the world. Um, Something like that. But that's totally more detailed than I think we want to get to.
No, it's interesting though. Like, so there's some kind of refuge within this city happening.
Yup.
Um, with the D&D time thing. So when I hear post-apoc, I think more futuristic, but like it's interesting that
Right.
you're thinking more past. So do you see this as like a space where different times are colliding in aesthetics or literally colliding?
Not necessarily. It's just that some kind of apocalypse has happened to the area outside this city. It can still, like, the apocalypse can be, I don't know, some plague that was kept outside the city. It's still all medieval times and stuff, but we
Yeah.
could totally have time divergence and, like, time travelers too. That'd be funny.
Oh gosh, yeah. So divergence. So so okay, two things. Have you seen or read, because there's a couple different genres of this. Roadside Picnic is the book. And the
No,
movie is it The Stranger? It's some Russian movie, some Russian adaptation of this book. And then later, I think it inspired Annihilation, which I think
haven't
got
seen it.
made into a movie with Natalie Portman.
Yeah, that I haven't seen.
At its heart, it's like pockets of like weirdness, or like a zone of weirdness, like some kind of anomaly happened in like a very physical area. And like
Hmm.
things are time's breaking down, like time and space is breaking down in different ways, but like it's very geographically localized, and people put on like hazmat suits to go like check it out. Um,
Interesting.
yeah,
Okay, I'm in.
maybe like there's like little pockets of divergence so that like I don't know, around the corner in that weird alley, that's where you can see, I don't know, dinosaurs or something, like however we want to work this
Yeah.
time travel. Chat has a really interesting idea. They say, so Celestial Scramble says, to borrow from D&D, is it a city that's expanded so much in the physical plane that they're somehow building in the ethereal as well?
Oh, that's interesting.
That's really cool.
You have to build into a different plane to keep building.
So like planar colonialists.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool. Hang on, I gotta chill out my chat bot. It's spamming everybody.
Good job. Good job.
Good job, chat bot. Okay.
No, someone set up the chat bot.
All right, I think I slowed it down. All right, so that looks interesting. I think that's a really good broad strokes. Tone, yeah. I feel like because this is so kind of fantasy based, I feel like we're not going to have any anachronisms of like things that we know from our world. Like I feel like this is very separate. Would you agree?
Yeah. Okay. And in terms of tone, you know how Netflix does the like genres?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking irreverent makes sense for ours.
Ooh, I like it. Now I'm testing my spelling skills on stream. Irreverent. No. Yes.
Something like that. It doesn't. I mean, we're doing a Twitch stream. It's not like we're writing a paper for general manager.
Thank goodness. Cheers to Sunday morning. All right. So, once we have set the tone of our city, you're ready to move on to the next step. Before you really start exploring the city, you'll begin by adding just a few cards to the table to spark everyone's imaginations. So, I believe I'm turning this over to you, Josie, if you're still up for taking us on our first tour of the city. So we have, it says turn to the section on exploring a neighborhood and follow instructions. Explain your thoughts to the table as you do so. How is this particular neighborhood essential to the city's existence? What makes it different from other parts of the city? So we're just doing our first neighborhood and our first landmark, and then we'll start going on tours together through the city.
Okay. So this neighborhood, I'm up a little bit above to the left.
Perfect.
This neighborhood is called Dragonfly Heights. And I'm thinking it's kind of a calm neighborhood. It's predominantly residential, and they have kind of an indifferent reputation. So like the other neighborhoods kind of treat it like it's they're just there.
Mm-hmm.
And not really like a super huge part of the city in terms of like building the city. Yet they're critical because they have all the water.
Ooh. Interesting.
So they supply water to the city.
So they also supply it. They don't just hoard it. That's good.
Yes. And what else?
How do other neighborhoods think of them?
They're just there. They're kind of like indifferent. It like, hey, we go to get our water, and like they aren't amazing, but they're not really hated.
It's like a municipal vibe.
Yeah. And then I think the next thing is this true name.
Mm-hmm.
To confer a true name, come up with 2 or 3 descriptive sensory images that paint the neighborhood in a clear picture.
So is that like its poetic name versus like its neighborhood name?
Kind of. Is what I'm thinking. And let's see,
I wonder if I can
think poetically when coming up. So I'm reading from the rulebook here, page 23, bottom paragraph, or second to last paragraph. Think poetically and play with the senses when coming up with the names. Dizzying mirror glass windows, cobblestone boulevards, a funicular. What the hell is funicular? I don't even know that word.
I know it from a Decemberist song. That's about it.
Okay.
But if that tells you anything about the word and its esoteric purpose.
Yeah. Sidewalk patios, burnt coffee, painted fingers, a forever sunset. So maybe the city's true name is
I love this.
Damp roadways. Wow. Road. Oh my god.
It's all good.
Roadways. Empty halls.
Put true name in front of that just so we know that that's...
Silence.
Cool. I tried to mark it in the corner with like a little green thing because it says to mark N for neighborhood. Oh, you did?
Oh.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
We're good, we're good.
So, damp roadways, empty halls, silence.
Dang, I love it. And I also like that its reputation. It's just like the place you go to like pay your bills and get your water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we're still in laying the foundation phase.
Yeah, so that's back up in... Once you've created this neighborhood, introduce your fellow players in broad strokes to the idea of visiting a landmark. Page 24.
Pointing out the close relationship between a landmark and the neighborhood in which it is nested. And then we're taking the tour through the neighborhood. So then will be my turn to jump in, and then we close with the rest stop. Oh, and chat too. I was thinking of giving chat a turn if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
Cool.
So I'm doing a landmark.
Yes.
So, this landmark... let's see, this landmark is... a tree of kumquat. Okay.
I'm really glad that you... I'm really glad how you ended that word.
What?
I'm glad how you ended that word. I was like, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
I'm really glad for how you ended that word. Like, I was like, wow, this just took a turn.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, this is the tree of kumquat. An address. So, the address of the tree of kumquat is under the arch of the Maison Lay pumping station. Let's see. Off the beaten path is several stories up.
Several stories up?
No, I'm looking at the rule book and it's like, is it in the heart of the neighborhood or off the beaten path? I'm gonna say this is like kind of, it's just there.
How far into the neighborhood do you have to go to see it?
I think like the neighborhood, so the neighborhood kind of leads to this pumping station that has the tree of kumquat under its arch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of doing two landmarks at once.
That's all good.
And so it's not necessarily the emotional center, but the physical center of the neighborhood.
You might eat your lunch under there and not even notice it.
Yeah, exactly. And then what else does it have? Each landmark has its own true name. This should be even more specific than the true name for your neighborhood. How does this landmark exist within the neighborhood? Does the landmarks matches? So let's say easily ignored um, tries to grab attention by dropping non-kumquat fruits on people sitting underneath.
It just generates random fruit sometimes.
Yep, and drops it on the people sitting under the tree just to be like, oh, that damn tree again.
Oh my god, I love the idea of someone who just like ate their lunch under this tree, totally nondescript, doesn't even think about it, and like the tree drops random fruit down to try to get attention, and the people just end up thinking they brought it in their lunchbox.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I
Like,
love it.
they don't even notice.
But the one thing it'll never drop is a kumquat,
Right,
even though it's the tree of kumquat.
right. Which leads people to think that like the fruit or whatever it dropped didn't come from this tree, so they don't pay
Yeah.
attention to it.
Yep. Okay, so there's my neighborhood.
Is that its true name? The easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark it with the L or the TN at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, chat, you are up. I'm gonna give this next go around to you. So as we're touring the neighborhood, we're creating, or as we're touring the city, we're creating a neighborhood and a landmark in this foundational phase. So let's see, did I already put the neighborhood thing in chat? Let me put it again. So a neighborhood needs a title, a reputation, and a true name. And in all of that, you kind of describe a little bit about it. So chat, this is your neighborhood. So chat is saying, can we have a Rapunzel-esque tower that is solid at the bottom and it's built up as it was built into the ethereal plane? That sounds like a landmark to me.
Yep, that definitely is a landmark.
So let's build backwards then. So we have our landmark. So chat, what neighborhood does this tower exist in? We can create that neighborhood for you. Oops, I'm still on eraser mode. So this will be the neighborhood of wherever this tower is. So Celestial Scramble is saying maybe a university campus area, and the tower is a library. The neighborhood is like a university campus.
Okay.
What is the reputation of the campus? So it says, in a couple of sentences, describe out loud the neighborhood's general vibe. Residential, commercial, how do people think of themselves in this neighborhood? So what is the campus like, chat?
Trying to figure out how to like watch the chat without watching the stream. I don't know if I can do it.
Maybe pretentious school in this neighborhood. Cool. Tell me more. So who attends? Like, because we were saying this city is like a refuge. So do people, I assume everyone in the interior of the city, like,
it's where all the wizards are.
it's where all the wizards are. Pretentious wizards.
Oh,
users of magic.
I love it.
Like maybe they had something to do with the creation of the protection from the outside.
Yeah, like maybe they enabled the city to be protected. Lots of high-class architecture. Whatever that means in the setting.
I like it. Established first as a charity sort of thing, but grown hugely in opulence. So established as a charity is interesting. Like maybe this school was like very benevolent and like started as like, we are going to save everyone. Like we're going to put up this dome. We're fortifying the dome. Don't worry, everything's fine. We've got magic. And now they've kind of like grown big heads and like feel like they have more power than they had at the start.
I love that.
So what's its true name then, chat? The true name of this city? The true name is, it has magic in its own. So you come up with descriptive sensory images that paint a clear picture of your neighborhood. Usually 2 to 3 descriptive sensory images that are its real or like metaphorical name. So when referring to it, people would say like the campus area. Oh, I'll see you at the university. But like, what is the true power of this neighborhood?
What if its true power is that, like, there's a feeling of loss? Like, you walk in and you just, like, I'm here, okay, but I don't remember what I was doing. Gold-plated doorknobs.
Gold-plated
oh my god, I love it.
Extraneous accessories that show off their financial and magical might. Celestial, do you want that to be its description or its true name? I'm putting it in true name for now.
Yeah.
This idea of loss, though, is interesting too, because it's supposed to be a place of answers and like knowledge.
Yeah, so it's empty. You get the feeling that it has lost its meaning over time and continuing without purpose.
Cool. So I'm going to put, here, I'm going to tweak this a little bit. I'm putting this part in its reputation and description. And then maybe its true name is gold-plated doorknobs, sense of loss. As kind of its like poetic name.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll meet you at the university. And like at the heart of that is gold-plated doorknob, sense of loss. Oh. Doesn't resonate with me at all. It does. Ugh. Sorry, my contact is being grumpy. Love it. Okay, so the landmark then in this area we said was the tower. And it's a tower that connects the solid at the bottom and then builds up into the ethereal plane. What is the reputation of this tower then? How do people think of it, and how do people in the neighborhood think of it? Because like it's connecting into a place where we're kind of trying to expand. Mana says, circles back to that whole thing Josie was saying about all the things being named opposite of what they truly are. Cool.
Amazing.
So is there a sense of hope about this tower, or is it like a sense of like shame? Like, how do people feel about the expansion into the ethereal plane? How do different folks feel? Like the people in the university maybe, and then like everyone outside of it?
What if there's a feeling of hopefulness that they can find more space, but at the same time, they're like stepping away from reality?
Does reality bring people a sense of like comfort? Or because I feel like these university types might be like, yes, like final frontier. Like, let's go. But maybe like a more common folk would be like, no, like I'm losing touch with like what I know as we go up and out of this dimension.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can see the reputation being that they set up the city and they helped, but they don't serve a purpose now, and all the expansion they do now is wasting effort.
Yeah. Of course, the university's feeling is this is like innovative. But everyone else is like, no, you've kind of done what you set out to do.
Yeah.
So its true name could be like ladder of
Endless ladder.
What's that?
Endless ladder.
Endless ladder. Oh my god, I love it. It reminds me of like climbing the corporate ladder kind of a thing.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, great. Cool. So that's in the campus university area. All right, I guess I need to make one.
Yep. It's your turn.
Alrighty. So, ooh. Oh, I didn't know you could change the size of the posties. Look at that. Let's make our neighborhoods fat. Okay. So this neighborhood is what, so the title is what the neighborhoods call it on a daily basis. I'll look back at our main three. Ethereal, questionable functionality, and cramped. I'm gonna go with this neighborhood's called like the Arcade District. And its reputation, well, describe the neighborhood's general vibe. So it is like, it's like very boxy, like and it's kind of, it's built into like the side of a cliff to get more space. Like I guess it butts up against the dome or like whatever protective barrier there is to the outside.
Okay.
Lots of like houses or buildings that like butt up against the dome protecting the city. Are we setting that? So is this like medieval vibes generally? And like then there's time disruption, or is it like all time disrupted? Like, does it make sense to have an arcade? I guess.
It doesn't matter. You can have an arcade in medieval vibes.
Okay.
I'm totally okay with that.
Maybe, okay. I'll just talk it through, and if you're like, this is anachronistic as hell, like, we'll fix it. Lots of houses.
I like the idea that, like, there are no curves. Like, it's all square and boxy.
Yeah. And it's, like, built into the stone. Yeah, I guess in Zelda, they have arcade games, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's always those arcades. Okay, so then the reputation is people come here for diversion,
Okay.
to relax, to like play games, spend money, kind of like gambling.
So kind of like a casino district.
Yeah, but it's, I would say the reputation is it's not seedy. It's kind of like, it's reputable, I guess.
Okay.
Like all different classes and types of people come here. there's like a little something for everybody.
Okay.
And it's primarily commercial. And I think because of its proximity to this dome, like the ethereal, and like, I don't know if the ethereal is what's outside, like what we're keeping out, but there's like a lot of anomalies here. So like a lot of like magical disruptions.
Makes sense.
It's very weird. It's like a very weird place. And just pretend I can spell. There we go. For its true name, I think the true name of this area is like spiraling and sparking noise maker distraction.
Which totally goes back to the concept of things are named not what they are. Like it's supposed to be a relaxing place.
Yes.
And there's just noises and like sparkles and just everywhere.
Yep. Cool. And then the landmark here. Oops. The landmark here is, I want to say it's like something that like maybe kids would know to meet by, you know, like if they were saying like, let's go to the arcade district, meet me by the, oh man, maybe like almost like, I'm thinking like a well that's run dry. Like maybe there used to be like water cisterns throughout the city, but
well.
Yeah, like now you have to go to the Dragonfly Heights to get water. So like an empty well, or I don't know, something very like functional but doesn't function anymore in this area.
Yup.
Oh. Huh. Don't hold on one moment. My phone
I'm sorry,
took
say
over.
that again?
Can you hear me still?
Yeah, you're fading out a little bit.
Oh no. My phone took over my Spotify for some reason.
Oh geez.
Yeah, that's annoying. Mid-song Spotify? Come on. All right, so empty well. What did the kids fill the well with though? Like,
I was thinking about that too. Tokens from the arcade. It's just full of all these tokens.
Full of arcade tokens. Yeah, like you know those things that like you put wine corks in after you drink the wine, like it's full of the cork material. It's just kind of like full of tokens and discarded wrappers from like food and stuff, and like someone cleans it out every week. It's like someone's job to like clean it, and then they like fill it up again.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
And like since it's so close to all these like spiritual disruptions, like occasionally like you see ghosts and things that have passed through it come out with like tokens like stuck in them, like phased like halfway through them.
Oh my goodness, I love it. And maybe like a token gets poltergeisted and starts flinging out of the well and then disappearing and appearing back in the well.
Yep. Is that how you spell poltergeisted? Cool. And its true name is fill with your deepest wishes and regrets.
Regrets. That's interesting.
Like when you cast in that wrapper of that thing you know you shouldn't have eaten.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's my neighborhood. Do we create residents now? Are we out of foundation phase?
No, so now we'll move from foundation phase to the actual rounds of the game.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, the first step of each round is declaring a compass.
Mm-hmm.
After you've laid the foundation, read the following. Cities are dense, packed with stories stacked atop one another. In order to give each round a focus, one player chooses a compass to keep the story moving in the same thematic direction, at least until the next round. And then it says anything can be a compass: a neighborhood, a landmark, a resident, an institution, a lineage, an object, or a broad theme and concept. It can be as big or as small as you want. A compass can be an idea that already exists in play or something that you make up on the spot. Keep a running list of each round's compass and which player chose it, so that everyone can look back as your city unfolds. If a player wants to revisit a compass that was already examined, they can always pick the same one again or pick a similar concept or similar compass that examines that aspect of the city from a slightly different angle.
Mm-hmm.
So
it sounds
maybe,
like this is to make it more focused. Like the foundation was to be broad and like create the space.
Yes.
Okay.
So my mind went to an object, and can I just jump in with the first compass?
Yeah, I think so. Because like the foundation round is done. Oh, wait. Yeah, let's just start with the compass and then we'll all wander through the city and then we'll do the event, which we haven't done an event yet.
Right.
Cool. Yeah.
So the compass in this case is the book of twisting morality and absurdity.
Oh my God, Josie. Yes. And?
I sure hope you wrote that down.
I am.
Okay. Let's see. Starting with the player who declared the compass, every player takes a turn adding a new card to the city. During this part of the round, you can explore a neighborhood, visit a landmark, meet a resident.
So that's the theme that like guides all of our building in this round?
Yes, so all of our building in this round has to somehow relate to the Book of Twisting Morality and Absurdity.
Okay, is it a physical thing?
I don't know. I literally just said that.
What?
Yeah. So, every card played should have a clear command. Sorry, I'm reading.
No, that's okay.
Let me just read out loud. Every card played during the Wandering the City phase should have a clear thematic connection to the compass. If you're unsure whether the idea fits the interpretation of the compass, just ask. Okay, so I am going to jump in with meeting a resident. So, this resident, take a blank index card and write R at the top left corner.
Oh, this is our first resident.
Yeah. And this is Arcanus Zan McPants.
That definitely fits absurdity.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the McPants I'm gonna ask, is the McPants family well known in the city?
I don't know. Let's say no. No, they're not. Describe the resident. Oh, pronouns. He, him. Write their name, pronouns. Each resident needs a title, so this is technically the resident's title. This is the common name known to all. Describe the resident briefly to the table. If they have a noteworthy profession or other important, feel free to write that down. So, Arcanist McPants.
You've done this to us.
What the fuck did I do? Arcanist McPants is a scholar.
Obviously. So, would one say Dr. McPants?
What?
Dr. McPants?
Fine. Dr. Zian McPants. I'm okay with that. Arcanist Dr. Zian McPants. He's a scholar, and he regularly studies the Book of Twisting, Morality, and Absurdity.
This reminds me of, have you read, what's it called? It's like a Jonathan Safran Foer book. Everything is Illuminated. Have you read that book?
No, I haven't.
You should. I think you'd really like it.
Okay.
It has a lot of this kind of like poetic, quasi-realist, quasi-poetic vibe to it.
Okay. He studies this book and has lost his sanity because the book instructs the user to not understand the morals of the city any longer.
Oh God. So he just like doesn't understand what life means anymore?
Yeah, he doesn't understand what is right versus what is wrong.
Does he still teach classes?
I mean, I didn't administratively.
Okay. Checks out.
Okay, so like neighborhoods and landmarks, every resident also needs a true name. Unlike neighborhoods and landmarks, however, a resident's true name is established through collaboration during a vignette.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? A short scene in which all players participate. Well, fuck.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's on page 27, framing a vignette.
Yes. A brief glimpse into the resident's daily life. To begin a vignette, the current player decides where the scenes take place. The location should be connected in some way to the landmark where the resident is nested. Okay. So, this is in his room in the tower, which is kind of like a penthouse in that it has multiple floors, and it's right on the border between real and ethereal. So as he walks upstairs in his tower, he moves from physical to ethereal, and this is essentially his home. The player embodying the resident may make broad scene requests. Could someone play one of my family members, for an example, or let's frame this as a montage of regular customers. I am not gonna do that and not restrict you.
Okay.
So,
do you want me to be part of this scene, or do you want it to be a solo scene?
No, please. Even if it is a solo scene, you would play the abstract elements of the space, like something falls off the shelf or something like that.
Okay.
The current player begins by describing the resident's interior thoughts and actions. Other players respond freeform, engaging in a loose, improvised conversation. Describe sensory details as well as the resident's desires. Feel free to speak both in and out of character. The scene is over when the current player knows the resident's true name in its entirety. Write the facets of their true name on the card and place this card so that it rests partially on top of the landmark. Okay. So let's start this thing up. Oh my god, I'm so anxious about this.
Just think about this dude.
Yeah, I know. Sitting at his desk, reading the Book of Twisting Morality and Absurdity, Dr. McPants looks up to the somewhat empty room and says, "Well, that can't be right," and takes the book and throws it at the window.
As the book hits what would appear to be the glass pane of the window, two ethereal hands grasp it, emerging from the window, and throw it back at Dr. McPants.
Dr. McPants and his terrible dexterity get hit in the face, and the book lands on the ground, and he looks confused at the window and puts the book on his table and pokes at the window.
It's kind of gooey, like the Matrix mirror. It just kind of like goops in like a little point of like one single teardrop in a pond and ripples out.
He quickly returns with his assistant and says, "Hey, this window is interesting."
It's the same window that you showed me yesterday.
Oh. Right, I forgot. And Dr. McPants pushes his assistant through the window.
With a crash of glass, the assistant breaches through the window and is teetering between falling out of the tower and staying in the room, as like most of their torso is now extended backwards into open space.
Okay, that's new. And grabs the assistant, pulls them back in, and says, I'm sorry, I had to explore that. The book says knowledge was the most important thing.
Ah! Eyes wide, the assistant runs out of the room, closing the door behind them.
Dr. McPants says, "Well, this is really pants. This is absolute pants." And sits down and starts writing his notes for this investigation.
The window seemingly is completely flawless, no broken glass, everything right where it was at the beginning of Dr. Pants's inquiry.
So I think his true name is that he is investigative, doesn't care about others, does whatever the book tells him. Okay.
Awesome. Nice scene.
So that is Dr. Zian Arcanist, Dr. Zian McPants.
I'd also like to think that that's like the 7th administrative assistant of like, there's like one per day, like, and then when one quits, like another one's hired for that day of the week to just deal with him on that Wednesday.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it.
I'll add that here. There's like a series of administrative assistants in the tower.
Yep. Goes through assistance like crazy.
Love it. How do I make the font bigger? Oh, maybe I can just change it from auto to... Oh no, it only gives me 4. Here. I can zoom in. We're getting into tiny font territory.
I know, right?
Okay, so that was your build off of that compass. Let's do a pulse check in chat. Chat, would you like to create a neighborhood, a landmark, or a resident based on this book of twisting morality and absurdity that has currently consumed one of our characters, Dr. Zan McPants? You can also build on this by creating another neighborhood about it or related to it, a landmark somehow related to it, or another character somehow related to it, a resident. Let's see if there's any interest in chat. May I get edgy with it, Celestial? Yeah, do it. Are you picking a neighborhood, a landmark, or a resident?
Is the chat delay gonna cause us a problem?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm fine with just waiting a tick, but I mean, all of chat can jump in, so we might also ideally get multiple voices in on this.
Yeah. I'm excited that we're doing this with chat.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. All right, neighborhood, a laboring district, farming or industrial, staffed by the undead.
Oh, cool.
Neat. Okay, let's build that here. So, Josie, do you mind guiding chat through the neighborhood creation process?
Yeah. So, the first thing is, what is the neighborhood called to people in the city?
So all of chat, please jump in. What is this neighborhood's name? What is it known by?
We've already got part of the reputation in terms of the other sections of the reputation. How do the residents think of themselves? How do other neighborhoods think of them? And other things like that.
So it's called
what is the neighborhood's general vibe?
Boneyards. The Boneyards is the name. What's the vibe of the Boneyards? A laboring district staffed by the undead. How do people feel about the Boneyards?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up again.
I wonder why.
I wonder if it is using the other mic and it was just working okay for a bit.
Let's see. But yeah, what's the vibe of the Boneyards? No, I have it as my big old mic here.
Okay.
Could be Discord. Sometimes Discord is crackly, but stream is not. It's a little strange.
Got it.
Yes, chat says audio's okay, so it must be Discord.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so also, how does it relate to this book?
Yeah, good question. Oh, I'm getting a Book of the Dead vibe now, like the Mummy. Okay, we've got residents. For residents, how awakened are the undead? Like, do you think they like or dislike or volunteer to be here? Interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
I feel like, so just to go back to this idea of like the ethereal plane, these must be people that delved too deep or in the wrong places in the ethereal plane. So like people don't become undead by dying here, but these are explorers or these are like denizens of this new like like they climbed up the tower, they like explored the plane, and like something happened to them, and they cannot die normally anymore. So they're like residue from the colonial expansion into the ethereal.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. And
so they are dead, kind of.
Maybe this book taught the predecessor of Mr. McPants, Dr. McPants, how to make this district.
Cool.
How to summon these undead.
Or at least,
and I would say
like how
Dr.
to
McPants' predecessor.
Maybe like how to keep them from being violent. Do they have like maybe violent tendencies otherwise, and the book is necessary to like placate them?
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Dr. McPants' predecessor. Wow. Turns out I can't spell. Look at that. So we've got in chat. How about their expedition was financed by the Boneyard's bosses, and if they fail, they have to work? Interesting. So, wow. So that's like 2 levels of indentured servitude. Like, the reason they were in the ethereal to begin with is because if they don't, they have to work anyway. Or it's financed for them to go, and if they fail, they're eternally tormented by working here.
Wow, that's hilarious.
That checks out. That checks out. So like their impetus to go is to like obviously to survive, to like bring back, you know, things from the ethereal plane, like to advance the knowledge of these academics over here, and like basically to save the world kind of a thing. But if they fail, they have eternal indentured servitude in the boneyard.
Yep.
Celestial Scramble says, I'm trying to think of different levels of morality going on between the Book of Knowledge, how laborers and bosses intertwine, and how other residents feel about it.
This book has made this city a little dark.
Yeah, it's a little dark now.
I'm okay with that.
What's the true name of the boneyards?
I hear the sound of like picks hitting the wall and stuff like that.
But also ghostly wails on a distant plane.
Yep.
That's its true name. Cool. We'll put it near the tower. Because, like, if it's related to their research, it's probably the reality that they don't want to think about, but it's probably physically close to where they are.
Well, remember, we're not supposed to map this physically. So
there's
just
no
throw it down there.
There's no level of connection?
There's so where did I read that? I read it.
Oh, I thought it meant like just don't draw a map. You map drawing nerds.
Let's see.
I'm gonna put Celestial's note here, mechanical. Constant interval. Drudgery. Mechanical constant interval drudgery, picks hitting the wall, ghostly wails on a distant plane. Yeah, I remember reading that too. I thought it just meant like, don't worry about drawing a map.
So the table is not geography. You might feel an urge during play to declare that one direction on the table is north, or to say that landmarks should border each other because their cards are next to each other.
Oh. That's
so. Yeah, that's not the same.
Can we think of how things are spatially related then?
Yeah, it just can't be influenced by the physical layout,
Okay.
is the concept, I think.
Okay. I was more trying to move the physical layout to mirror the conceptual layout. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. I also like that this fits into your idea of questionable functionality because it's like, why the hell are these guys mining stuff? Can't we think about
Yeah. Yeah. So what else do we need to do with the boneyards?
I think we're good on the boneyards. I think it's my build in the neighborhood tour.
Okay. What are you building?
I'm building a resident.
Okay.
I'm gonna build a resident that lives in an apartment that overlooks the courtyard where the tree of kumquat is stationed.
Okay.
Let me get to the resident build page. What do you know what page it is for resident?
It is 26.
Thank you.
28 in the PDF.
Thank you. Oh, we've got to hydrate, redeem. Please hydrate, Josie. Thanks, Celestial.
Oh, yes, thank you. I actually have run out of tea, so whenever we take a break, I am gonna make more tea.
Oh, lovely. Okay, let me make my resident, and then we'll take a little break after that before we do the event.
Okay,
I think events
sounds
new
good
for us.
Yeah.
Okay. So resident needs a common title, known to all, and pronouns. So this resident is named Martha. I keep thinking of Heidegger. I don't know why. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a thing. Martha Heidegger, she, her. And describe this resident briefly to the table. If they have a noteworthy profession or other important qualities. Okay, so Martha Heidegger, she's in an area where everyone comes for water. She used to be a washerwoman at the old well in the arcade before it dried up and all the water was moved here. So she had to move here too. So she kind of had to relocate and kind of switch gears, switch jobs. She used to wash clothes at the well for people. And now she's like an administrative grunt, like handing out tickets for people to like pick up their water.
Okay.
So like from washerwoman to administrative grunt. She's very kind. She has like eyes that smile with like the little smile lines on the sides of her eyes. She's like...
Is she old?
She's like a little bit older. She has like 6 kids, but they're all grown and left.
Okay.
One of them actually died and is working at the boneyards, so is like an undead child. And she brings that child a kumquat every morning from the tree. Is it with a C? I don't even know. I'm gonna spell with a K. I think it's with a K.
Really?
It might. I have no idea. I'm gonna Google it on the break.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Kumquat from the tree every morning. But like the child just like holds it in its hands and like it like falls to the ground. But she still goes every morning. Her other children are working in various other neighborhoods yet unidentified. Hey Tech, welcome in. Tech also thinks it's with a K.
It is a K. I looked it up.
Okay, I'll change it here. But yes, Martha, she's like, she brings a smile to everyone's face at work. And for her true name, we need to do a vignette, right?
Yeah. How does she relate to the book?
Oh, shoot. Great question. I was more concerned with her relating to this neighborhood. She relates to the book because her child is undead and
Okay.
is like a direct byproduct of the book. She considers the book to be kind of like a corrupted, like the connection to the ethereal plane is just nothing but a source of sadness for her. She likes to keep things real.
Okay.
She doesn't think anything good is coming from this expansion, and people will say like, "But Martha, like the ethereal border, like saved our lives," and she's like, "But at what cost?" kind of a thing.
Yeah. Got it. Got it.
Um, yeah. So her vignette. So it's a glimpse into a resident's daily life. The scene will take place in the administrative offices at the Dragonfly Heights Water Supply District, like municipal, like courthouse. I don't even know. I guess, is there like physical water there? Like, are there like lots of fountains that people come to like fill up at?
Yeah, so I assume people take water out of there, um, to the rest of the city wherever they need water.
Cool. So yeah, she's kind of she's like in the middle of this like big room full of like water and pails and like fountains, and she's like directing people and like giving people tickets and taking their tickets, kind of like a counter person at a concert, like click click click.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where we will be. And then it says the current player embodies the resident. Other players play various aspects of the setting, like the weather, the music, the sights, the smells, the passage of time, or other characters in the scene. Okay, so then we begin by describing her interior thoughts and actions. So Martha is standing in the middle of this room. Her hands are stained with the fruit of the kumquat that she had just brought over to her undead child over in the boneyards. It's like a hike to get down there to the area where the tower is, and so she has to get up really early to do it every morning. So she's tired, but she still has a smile on her face. She like kind of like wipes the dried fruit onto her pant leg, and with the other hand she's like clicking this counter to let people know that it's their turn to go get water. And she's greeting people, and she kind of smiles at the next person in line and says like, "Oh, what a lovely day we're having. Just a lovely day." And she like tries to make it feel earnest as she says it.
This person that she's greeting, an older woman who says, I'm sorry, I misplaced my ticket. Can I just go and get some?"
"Oh, I'm sorry to say, but no. I mean, it wouldn't be fair, and that's why I'm here to make sure everything's fair, that everyone gets their supply. Do you know where you might have misplaced it?"
I think I dropped it out on the street, but I looked and it wasn't there.
She looks at the woman. Is this someone she's kind of seen before, do you think? Is this like a well-known face to her?
Probably comes through about once a week for enough water for the family for the week.
I think at this point Martha will look around to see who's watching her with her counter.
There are enough people in here that no one is particularly watching anyone, and there's this movement about of people coming and going and grabbing water, and the supervisor of this area is like looking at a clipboard, writing stuff down.
Martha breathes in deeply, and she feels kind of the air that's so familiar to her. She spends all her days here, like fill up her lungs, and like it's just a familiar smell and feeling. And she like resolves herself and like leans forward and like clicks the counter, like holding it in between her breasts, like clicks it, like trying to muffle the sound. "Okay, just this once, but please, love, bring your ticket next time."
Thank you, I will. I'm sorry. And she like trottles off towards the cistern.
And Martha straightens her shoulders and she feels kind of like just the creak of them, like just like a weight, as though she's still like hauling water from the well like she used to and doing washing physically, but she's just holding this tiny little light clicking device, but it feels so heavy. And she looks to the next person with a smile. And your ticket, dear.
And the next person hands over the ticket, smiles back, and whispers, "You did a good thing."
I'm glad there are still good things to be done in this world.
And as Martha passes 5 or 6 more people, it starts. This event still doesn't leave Martha. There is a little bit of a leak in the cistern, and like all these people kind of start crowding it to try and repair the cistern. And all of a sudden, a ticket with no person kind of appears in front of Martha and kind of floats down onto the table.
She has, her shoes are kind of sopping wet from some of the leakage on the cistern, and she squelches over to it and tries to grasp it out of the air and like feel if it's tangible or not, or if her eyes are playing tricks on her.
It's tangible, but it appeared from nowhere.
She gives a little shudder. She hates this ethereal stuff and looks around to see if that woman is still here.
She left a little while ago.
She looks at the ticket and puts it in her pocket, and it kind of like clinks into other ethereal tickets that have appeared for her over the weeks. And she kind of has them as extras, but she refuses to give them out because she feels like they're tainted in some way, coming from nowhere, coming from like not the real world. And she shakes her head and she's like, "I'll do it on my own. I don't need your help," to kind of the empty air around her.
And as the day passes, nothing else abnormal happens. The sloshing of the water is eventually cleaned up and put into the tanks to repurify. And there are no other people that have problems.
Martha runs her hands through her hair, and just like a little bit of the sticky fruit from the morning gets stuck and clumped at like the frizzy ends of her hair at the front. And I think her name is... I think her true name is Heavy Heart, Light Eyes, Matriarch.
Cute.
That's Martha's true name.
I like her a lot.
Yeah. I'm interested in how everyone is like interacting with this ethereal nature of, and the different effects of something like the book. And
Yeah.
Well, let's take our first break. We'll be back. We're going to go to our first event, which is how we wrap up a round. Actually, let's leave them with what an event is so that we're ready to jump in when we come back. So It says, after everyone has wandered the city during the current round, players who first declared the compass finishes the round by creating an event that changes or alters the city in some way. Your event should be related to the compass that you set at the beginning of the round, or to a card that was played during the round. Events are a good way to tie up loose ends on questions that arose during a round. However, an event can also be a chance to highlight an aspect of the compass that was unexplored or recontextualize other elements to the city that were discovered during play, but it's always connected to a neighborhood, a landmark, or a resident. So we will come back with our first event after break and close out this round. And thanks for helping us build. Thanks, Celestial.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be right back, refreshed with more coffee and tea. See you soon. Hello, hello. We are back.
You know, I said I was ready, but I forgot to actually pour my new tea glass.
I love your tea setup, Josie.
Thank you. Thank you. I usually keep it down in the kitchen, but I thought for this event it would be better up here so that I could, do things while I forgot them.
I just think it's so cozy to have a little tea station in a room. It's nice. So
Okay.
I believe you are running the event, which is the
I
changing thing that is a paradigm shift for our world, our city.
So, your event should be related to the compass that you set at the beginning of the round. An event is always connected to a neighborhood, landmark, or resident. On your turn, describe the event in a sentence or two. So, I need a new card for an event, right?
Yes, I think we keep track of them. Maybe put it here by the city itself. Here, I'll move the arcade around. I'll move that over here.
Take a new index card, fold it in half vertically, tented upright.
Good luck.
Write a quick summary on one side. Oh, this is complicated.
Summary of your event?
Yeah.
Oh, I think my Discord might be frozen.
Oh no.
Oh, we're back. Okay.
Okay.
I think audio might have been good. It might have been just Discord having a blip.
Choose the card and play that best corresponds to the event. So, the event is that Martha's son rematerializes.
The undead son?
Yes.
What?
Martha's undead son is revived and rematerializes.
My God.
But does so in the tower.
Whoa.
Because Dr. McPants summoned.
Hello, Josie's visitor.
That was my partner, Milo.
Hi, Milo.
I'm sorry, say that again. Okay. Dr. McPants used the book to summon him.
Dang, I love it. Masterful. Masterful event.
Okay. Each player then gets a chance to respond to the event by taking on a voice of the city.
I'm doing an exciting emote explosion for your masterful event, Josie.
Nice. In doing so, the players are not embodying specific residents, but rather the myriad of perspectives and viewpoints. Once the person who chose the compass has created an event, start with the player to their left and move clockwise around the table as a voice of the city. Each player can do one of three things: ask a question, state an opinion, or show a consequence. You can ask a question about the origins, implications, or repercussions of the event. The question is always rhetorical. Let it hang in the air. State an opinion in one or two sentences that some members of the community hold towards the event, or show a consequence in a sentence or two of people in the city reacting to the event.
Okay.
Consequence can be about a specific resident or more abstractly about the community at large.
So I'm going to put the 3 options in chat because I would also like chat to be able to participate on their turn. So those are the 3 ways that each player can respond to the event.
So do you want to go first, or?
I think you go last, right? Being the creator. Okay.
Yeah, but I was wondering you compared to chat.
Oh yeah, I'll go and then I'll have chat think about it. Get your stuff ready. And everyone in chat can participate. We can have multiple submissions from you, chat. Oh boy. I think I'm going to show a consequence. So in a sentence or two, people in the city reacting to the event. I feel like, so there's protests in front of the tower of people. Well, it's interesting. Like people, I was going to say people like Martha who are very skeptical of the ethereal delvings and find them unnatural, but this directly benefited Martha. So I don't think she's at the protests, but there are protests of people who are very much afraid of the implications of this. They were afraid before, and they're even more afraid now because the rules have changed. And they want the ethereal exploration to stop. They want the tower to be brought down, essentially.
Okay.
And then I think another reaction is there's going to be a symposium led by Dr. McCann, who was formerly on administrative leave. He is being given a like TED Talk, basically.
Okay.
And that will be held in some yet unknown location in the city.
Yes.
All right, chat, what do you think?
The consequence is that there are protests in front of the tower because they're very much afraid of the complication or the implications and want ethereal exploration to stop, demanding a symposium for Dr. McPants.
Well, those are separate. So the symposium for Dr. McPants is like the university's response, not the protesters. Okay. Yeah. 2 sides of the same coin.
Got it.
All right, chat. So we've got one chat reaction, a question. Did the doctor hear about Martha's son's good work in the boneyard and decide he would make a good assistant? Freaking love it, Mana.
And of course, I can't answer that. It's rhetorical.
It's rhetorical, but it's so good.
It is amazing. Hear about his good work in the phone. Okay.
Love it. Freaking love it. Chat, if you have any other questions or it occurs to you, you can comment on this event. We'll throw it into the event, post it here. Ooh, we've got another one. Celestial asks, is this reproducible? Can the doctor do it again, or was it very draining?
Okay. And, okay, so I think this event is most closely tied to Martha.
Mm-hmm.
Despite it being the doctor's action, so I'm gonna put it on Martha's card.
Okay. Can I just say how much I'm really enjoying this game? Like,
yeah, I am too.
It's so great.
So once are we done with questions, opinions, and consequences?
Yes. If you would like to give one, I know technically it's your event, but we're just 2 players, so I think it would be fine if you gave one as well.
I think there's an opinion that Dr. McPants is now the most revered scholar.
Holy moly.
Okay, what happens next? Events change the city around them. At any point during the event phase, the player who declared the event may select a card or cards on the table that they feel that have been changed by the circumstances of the event. And reflect those changes on the corresponding cards. Okay, so
Oh, so we can kind of like
write some of this on the cards in question.
cool. I'll jump into Martha's card. I feel like Martha man, she's so conflicted. Like she's overjoyed at seeing her son. She's also worried that her son isn't really her son anymore.
Okay.
And she has an invitation maybe to meet with the doctor.
Okay.
And she's not sure if she's gonna go.
After read something.
Maybe like to be like a guest speaker at his symposium, and she's like not sure.
Okay. Needs to do symposium.
I am just picturing that scene of them telling him. I'm just picturing the scene of like them telling the doctor like, "Hey, you're in our good graces again." Like
Yeah. That happened. That totally happened. This adjustment might take place during multiple times in the event, but always should happen at least once. Anyone is free to suggest adjustments, but the player who declared the event has the final say on what stays and what changes. When changing the city, never destroy or completely remove a card from play. Okay, completing an event. The player who declared the event is the last player to take on the voice of the city, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
Events are never monolithic. No single perspective has all the facts. After the event is finished, the round is over. Take a quick rest stop.
Really quick before we end this event, can you comment on the doctor's reproducibility of the experiment? Like, what's going on with Dr. McPants? Is he actively trying to do this again? Was it an accident that it happened? Did he try to get a new assistant?
I think that is up to the table through future play.
Oh, so we can't add that as a post-event card adaptation?
Is my understanding of the rules.
Okay.
That's why every question is rhetorical. Because people can follow up with it through future play.
Cool. Yeah, it says completion of an event phase does not mean that the event is over within the fiction of the city. It might have ongoing consequences. Cool.
Yeah. So technically this event could still have consequences, etc.
Makes sense. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so rest stop. How does that work?
That is, I believe, a time that we go get tea. But we got tea early.
Okay.
Yeah, just checking in the direction of the game. It's like an ongoing lines and veils. Like if anything's changed or we want to just like level set, this is a great opportunity to do it.
Go
ahead.
I am very, very fucking much enjoying this. Like, this is an amazing game, and I want to do this every time my D&D players come up to a new city. This becomes a mini game.
It's mechanizing and kind of giving parameters to what you do when you create a campaign or an encounter or an NPC. Like there's so many layers built into this. It's really quite awesome.
Yeah. It is taking a little longer than I expected.
To get through the round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're also very slow. And by we are, I mean I am. As I told chat earlier, the theme of the channel is it's like 90% user error. So welcome.
Yeah. I'm feeling that.
Well, let's go on cruise control. Let's like knock the hell out of this next one.
Okay. So you wanna give us a compass?
Hell yeah, I do, Josie. I thought you'd never ask. That's not true. I know you'd ask. Compass. The compass in this round is the present is the past, and the past is the present.
Well, okay.
Is the name of the symposium that Dr. McCann will lead. Dr. McPants will lead.
Okay.
One of his administrative assistants wrote it.
Okay.
As Dr. McPants is not responding to the press. So that's the title of the symposium. That is our compass. It could be the symposium itself. It could be the concept of the symposium. It could be this McPants not answering the press thing. Kind of all of it is the compass.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll kick it over to you for our first walk through the neighborhood.
Do you go first?
Do I?
Starting with the player who declared the compass. Yep.
Oh,
you
wonderful.
go first.
In that case, I'm going to create a landmark on the campus. The landmark is going to be called the Edu Bowl. And
Edu Bowl. Oh my goodness. I love it so much.
It is like a pit in the ground, dug out, kind of all around the tower. Like I'm thinking Saruman's Orthanc, kind of like dug out all around his tower. I think, yeah, I thought I could hear Milo talking to your dog, question mark?
Yes, that is my partner talking to my dog. I didn't realize it was going to get picked up by the mic.
No worries. So pit dug out in the ground around the tower. It has like multiple levels of seating that are kind of like earthy and like made of stone and like mud.
So I have a question about this. You say it's a pit dug out in the ground around the tower. Are like people sitting in this pit?
When there's an event. Yeah.
What?
When there's an event, yeah.
Okay, so where does the speaker stand?
They stand on top of the tower.
Okay.
And they shout down to you like Saruman.
Oh my goodness. But on the top of the tower, they're technically in the ethereal plane.
Yeah, it's weird. It gets really weird.
Okay.
Top of the tower, shouting, ethereal. Because, like, I would imagine they're very excited about the ethereal plane. So, like, for them, that's, like, the pinnacle of where you would want to make an announcement. But it leads to some weird after effects.
Okay.
And disruptions.
So I imagine that the voice gets carried down by this ethereal booming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's that. And then let's see. Location. So that's the title and address. The address is circling around the pinnacle of knowledge. If I could spell. Oh my God, how is that not right? Oh boy. Ah, 2 N's, are you kidding me?
Good job.
Rude.
Good job.
I reject that.
Rude. Nope.
Ugh, spelling. And then the true name. So the true name, what makes it unique? What can you smell or taste? So the true name of this place is Stinky Dirt Pit Putting on Airs. That's the Edgy Bowl.
Oh my goodness.
Mana says, so when you boom with your voice down, it sounds like the voice of the gods.
Yes. Yes, I love it.
Awesome. All right, that's mine. Go for it, Josie.
So...
Oh, I have to kind of connect it, right? This is where the symposium is going to be. That's the connection.
I mean, it's... Yeah.
To the compass.
Yeah. I am going to... let's see. What am I gonna do? It has to be connected to this symposium or the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna make a landmark in the tower. Kind of like you did. This is... Wilfred Wright. Wilfred Wright's writing.
Stop.
What's a room? A word for room.
Room, but with a W. Room with a W.
Room. Okay. So this is Wilfred Wright's writing room.
Stop it.
And it is under the tower.
Like underground?
Yeah, like the sub basement. And it's the entire size of the tower. So it's a whole floor. And it's one large room. And inside are these writers whose job it is to write all these symposiums. Now, whether Dr. McPants is going to actually follow the script or not is another story, but he will be provided a script for the symposium. And Dr. McPants is banned from the room. And there are administrators telling them what to write. So it's a totally stage managed script
Mm-hmm.
that has nothing to do with the actual research that was done.
Mm-hmm.
And I already did the address. And then true name. Smoke filled.
Nice.
Like, they're just words being thrown back and forth.
Did you want to do... Sorry, go ahead.
It's like a synonym mill. Like, people are just throwing synonyms.
Or lobbing them, or chucking them, or tossing them.
Yes.
Love it.
Oh, and because of the ethereal energy,
I feel like it would get stuck, like the ethereal energy would get stuck in the ground like radon. Like they have, like, instead of radon testers, they have like an ethereal meter to see how it like sticks in the earth.
Yeah. And because of the ethereal energy, like certain words actually physically manifest and fall on the people saying the word.
Oh my god, I love it. So they just get hit in the head with like a physical word.
Yeah, like they're throwing words back and forth, like and it's all synonyms, and then all of a sudden one of the synonyms manifests into like a physical like thing, like block letters, and these block letters fall on someone, and then that's the word they actually use in the script.
So cool. So cool.
Okay.
So, do you want to do... I know we talked about doing 2 walks around the neighborhood because we're a small group. I don't think we did that the first time. Do you want to do it this time?
Well, last time we went to chat, and we got a good...
That's true.
Yeah. So maybe it's chat's turn to walk around under the compass.
All right, chat. You've got your compass. The compass is... The present is the past, and the past is the present. The title of Dr. McPance's Symposium. His administrative assistants wrote it. It was the content of the speech being churned out here in Winifred Wright's writing room. Soon to be spoken at the Edgy Bowl. What is the neighborhood, landmark, or resident that you would like to see us create here related to this compass? And it could be as closely related or as tangentially related as you'd like. All right, we've got a resident idea from Celestial. Let's hear it. I'm excited. Yeah, Josie, you have to read the Jonathan Safran Foer book. I'll send it to you. It's this title, Book of Twisting Morality and Absurdity, just really reminds me of it.
Okay. I'll take a gander.
So good.
So,
all right, we've got 2 residents.
2 of them?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
So we have a resident who is an engineer who works as part of a massive university team to monitor, design, or reinforce the physical and magical load-bearing columns of the tower. She's assigned to work during the symposium because of the protesters. And then our second resident is a princess and secretly undead and attending the symposium.
Oh my goodness.
I freaking love these residents.
So I made 2 cards.
Cool.
But I missed a lot of what you said, unfortunately. So, your turn to type.
I'll throw it right from chat here.
Okay.
And copy paste. I also love the idea that there's a princess. Like, we haven't really discussed the political structure of this world at all.
Yep. So maybe you play one of them and I'll play the other.
Sounds good. Yeah, let's do 2 vignettes for them. Do you have a preference?
I think the engineer is more my speed.
Sure.
Do we want to start with the engineer?
Yeah. Is there anything we're missing from the resident creation? We can ask chat for a little
Good
more.
question.
And then we also need to associate these residents with a landmark.
So the engineer is going to be associated with the tower because she maintains the tower.
Mm-hmm.
I did hear pronouns, right? She, her?
Yes. She, her.
Okay. Hang on, let me look at residents. Meeting a resident.
So describe this resident briefly. I think we have a good description.
Okay.
And then, yeah, a true name for this resident, which we established through the vignette.
Yep. Okay, so up at the top of the tower, this engineer who I'm imagining like long blonde hair and a tight braid. She's hammering with a weird hammer and like swearing to herself. And this hammer doesn't look quite real, but it doesn't look ethereal either. It's like something in between. And if you look at it from the physical realm, she's not hammering anything. She's just swinging the hammer. But in the ethereal plane, she's hitting a pillar, hitting a couple of pillars that are on the top of the tower.
She has a massive team working alongside her doing the exact same thing. So it's like a lot of people with similar tools kind of working in a row, reinforcing these columns. And everyone's kind of, just working in lockstep with one another. It seems like it's about midday and that they've been doing this for quite some time.
Okay. Those need to be perfect. Not even an inch off. They need to be in the perfect spot to catch his voice, particularly this one. He talks weird.
Yeah, boss, we gotcha, says the closest person to this engineer, taking like a very comical looking hammer. Like I'm picturing the hammer from Super Smash Brothers, like just like this giant oversized sledgehammer, and like whacking into the pillar, but the ethereal nature of it makes it so that the impact is just absorbed and it's all like dispersed in like a series of sparks and sparkles.
She swears loudly and says, "This is gonna take all day. I don't know what they thought we could do this all in 1 hour, or what did they say, an hour and a half?"
Yeah, I think they have a very loose understanding of what it takes to get these things done. We're the ones that make things happen. They're just the idea people. What with their ideas and everything.
Ideas are overrated. Let's just do it. And she goes back to hammering, and the hammer actually slips out of her hand because she's a little frantic and like flies off the top of the tower.
It soars out of the tower, and the trail of sparks and sparkles hangs in the air after it, and they remain minutes after its exit from the tower. So they are just kind of there as like a trajectory on a map, and they arc downwards, and you see kind of like as the other engineers peer over the edge to see where it fell, it's kind of created a little starburst at the bottom, like a cartoon, just kind of imprinted and hanging in the air there.
Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna go down and get another hammer. Keep working.
The air smells like electricity and fresh breeze so tall up here in this tower, kind of like a nice breeze, cross breeze is like flowing around you guys. And as this engineer, what is her name? Not true name, but name.
Let's call her Frederica.
Okay. As Frederica is heading to get another tool, she runs into like a tall foreman type person who leans over and says, "Frederica, I hate to tell you, but you're working the event tonight. I know you're not usually on the public-facing side of things, but these protesters don't seem to be going anywhere."
Yeah, and honestly, I gotta say, I'm agreeing with them right now, so we'll do our best. We'll keep it running. Try not to think about the event itself.
What do you mean you agree with them? They want to tear down this tower.
So, I don't agree with that, but maybe, just maybe, the doctor has gone too far.
What do you mean gone too far? He's created a whole new world for us. The undead don't need to stay dead. This allows us to explore further into the ethereal plane.
Yes, but I gotta get this working. I don't have time for this conversation. We'll talk later.
Frederica, I'm worried about you. I'm worried about where your loyalties lie, he says, kind of like tapping his foot and holding onto his clipboard.
The loyalties lie with the event happening successfully. That's my job.
Understood. I'll cover for you. He strides off past Frederica. Frederica, you make your way to the bottom of the tower with some ingenuity. You are the constructor of these magical load-bearing columns, so you know them quite well, and you're able to take basically like the fire exits down to the bottom.
Okay.
As you travel through these planes, you kind of pick up different levels of ethereal residue, kind of traversing downwards. You kind of go through an area that feels very much like walking through cotton candy, and it's just like almost like a web-like substance, but it's all like springy and bright pink, like the color of bubble gum. There's another ethereal layer where it's just nothing but like noise, like a firecracker going off in your ear all the time.
Frederica shivers and says to herself, "Why can't consistency be a thing?" And as her true name, I'm thinking leader, constructor, outspoken.
Awesome. I will lead for the undead princess, who will secretly be attending the symposium. I think I'm going to place her, at least currently, at the arcade, at the well.
Okay.
So we need the princess's name. It's going to be Princess Liana. She, her. She is 16, or was before her undeath. She hasn't made a public appearance in a while. She went on, she made a big show. Like her father, I guess, the king, was trying to show that the explorations into the ethereal were safe. So he's like, even my daughter can go. And then she was killed in the ethereal plane and became undead, and they're trying to cover it up. It's basically like a Weekend at Bernie's situation.
Oh my goodness.
So we got a Weekend at Bernie's. So she's unaware that she's undead, and some kind of strangeness, even prior to Dr. McPance's discovery, like allowed her to retain some sentience. Quasi.
Okay.
And so she just really likes to hang out in disguise at the arcade with her friends, which she was never able to do when she was alive. But now that she's like a semi-zombie, they just kind of let her do whatever she wants as long as she tries to maintain her disguise. So yeah, I think that's where we will start the scene, at the arcade, kind of in front of the well. So Princess Liana is wearing like a big trench coat with like the collar pulled up, and she's got really big sunglasses. Her hair is like, oh yeah, Celestial, please prompt us for the vignette. Her hair is like very like stringy, kind of coming out of the scalp and like looking like it's maybe pullable. Like if you were to yank on it, it might detach. And so it's like very much like fragile looking. She has a hood from a hoodie that she's wearing pulled up over all of this, kind of like tugged over the eyes. Why not me? Celestial, can you say more about this prompt? I like where you're going, but I want to make sure I understand your intent. What else about Princess Liana? She also has like a very like gauzy dress, kind of a ballerina style with like taffeta layers kind of poking out from under the trench coat, and slippers that are very fine with like beads and things that are hidden underneath the skirt. And I'll just wait for a chat to see if we have a... Yeah, so Celestial says, why wasn't I chosen for true resurrection? Was it a choice for him? Does he not like me? Is there something wrong with my soul? Awesome. So wondering why Martha's son was fully resurrected and the princess was not. Probably also the king is wondering this, I would imagine. Even though it's not public knowledge that the princess was undead. Probably not the best political move for Mr. Dr. McPants to have chosen a random person over the princess.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just sitting at the well. She's throwing coins from the arcade into it, and it's almost full. Like the well is like brimming over with all of these tokens. And she's sitting there tossing some in, and just kind of in a garbled voice says, "Oh, me," and throws the coin in. "Not me," throws the coin in. "Me," throws it. "Not me," and does this for a little bit.
She throws the coin, it lands on the pile of other coins, and they settle, creating like these sparks of light from the sunlight coming down. And it's a calm day, and she could have sworn that as the coins settled, she heard it wasn't a choice.
Huh? Who's there? Her jaw kind of unhinges a little bit, cracking as the bones and the sinew that hold it together are like not really totally alive.
She listens for a response. All she hears is the dinging of the arcade district, and all she sees is all the lights and sparkles, and a resounding emptiness greets her.
So, not here. Oh, Liana, focus. So hard to think. She hits herself in the forehead with one of her meaty hands that are partially decomposing, that have been kind of shoved up inside the trench coat sleeves, so they're not very visible. She feels, I think I have to set her. Hold on. What does it say? Interior thoughts. So she's thinking about how she has to attend the symposium and that her father was furious earlier about her not being chosen for this experiment. He wasn't even unaware of it. Like, he went on and on. And she just has this feeling of emptiness right now and worry that she's going to be caught at the symposium, that someone will recognize her.
A large guard walks by, and it sees her and her hand and says, do you belong here?
Belong? In the past, yes. Now, no. But also, yes. I bought tokens! And she holds up a little bag full of the arcade tokens and shakes them.
I mean, the guard says, I mean, the past is the present, apparently, and just walks off.
She follows him with her eyes, which are sunken into her face, kind of like dark chasms behind the sunglasses, and looks around for her friends and wishes her friends were here. Oh, past, present, want future.
As she's watching this guard walks through essentially an invisible wall, vanishes. And from the other direction, one of her friends walks up and says, well, hi, it's been a long time.
Oh, yes, I have been busy. And she clinks the bag of tokens again.
I was getting some water over in Dragonfly Heights. How did I come to be here?
Ah, maybe my thinking parts. She taps her head and like looks around for like signs of ethereal shimmer.
There is a little shimmer behind, as if she had walked out of one of those invisible walls.
Princess Liana looks at her friend and says, "Is my soul worthy of being saved?"
Isn't every soul worthy of being saved?
She takes a coin and flicks it into the well. Yes. Takes another coin. No. Yes. No. And they clink into their almost full repository.
Her friend leans forward and says, "It is your choice to have the belief you wish to have. Don't leave it to the well."
Liana pulls down her shades like the ultimate cool girl, running down the bridge of her kind of rotted out nose, and reveals those dark, vacuous eyes and looks at the friend and says, "I want to live."
And try. Who knows now, with the way the world has changed, if you want to live and want it so deeply, maybe that's what makes the difference.
She nods slowly, the vertebrae in her neck making a sickening cracking sound as her head moves up and down. Yes, I will live. I will lead. I will find Dr. McPants. I don't know why I keep messing up his name. I will find Dr. McPants. Make him see. Make him see. She turns over the bag of coins and spills all of the rest of them into the well.
Her friend kind of turns away, not used to the grossness of undead still, and says, "Find him. Talk to him. Who knows what you may find."
I think her true name is defiant and young, dreamer, but unfocused. Princess Liana's true name.
Okay.
That's our
So
resident.
we've done 2 landmarks and 2 residents. Seems like it's event time.
Sure does. Here we go. All right, here's our event. So, the event is... Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. There's so much that can happen here. An event is always connected to a neighborhood, landmark, or resident. Something has changed within the community. What is it? I think what changed is that during the symposium, the past is the present is the past and the past is the present. The tower that Dr. McPants was speaking from vanishes into the ethereal plane. It begins to get like sucked up into it. And Dr. McPants goes with it, I think, continuing his speech throughout the entire time that the tower is being kind of risen up into this plane out of existence. And his speech continues even after he has completely disappeared and gone. And all throughout the city, everything that has been ethereal touched or influenced in some way begins to act strangely, malfunction, like not continue in the way that it has been happening. I'll leave that open to kind of each situation on what that looks like, but things begin to kind of go haywire with the disappearance of the tower. I think that's the main event that happens after this symposium.
Okay. As a consequence, the water reappears in other neighborhoods. So everywhere that had water and dried up, like the well in the arcade is filled with water again. And everything that was in there vanishes.
Which one is full of water again? The well? Okay.
Yeah.
What happens to the reservoir?
The reservoir breaks open and the Dragonfly Heights becomes a swamp.
Cool.
Although I realized you asked a question and it was supposed to be rhetorical.
Oh, that's okay. Cool. Okay, so that's a consequence.
Yeah.
Cool. The coins disappear. Cool. Chat, what is a consequence of this event. You can either have a consequence, you can ask a question, state an opinion, or show a consequence. So I'll put those here again.
Here's a question for you. Does anyone other than Dr. McPants disappear with Dr. McPants in the tower?
Interesting. Well, we do know, keeping it rhetorical, but we know that Frederica was supposed to be there, that Martha was invited to be there along with her son, and that Princess Liana was also directed to go confront Dr. McPants.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mana asks, was it a life for a life? Did Dr. McPants get taken into the ethereal plane because of him bringing back Martha's son?
That's an interesting concept.
Very interesting. Reaction. Celestial says, Frederica goes ballistic, knowing the level of power in the ethereal plane required to make this happen.
Okay.
Cool.
I think there's an opinion that Dr. McPants got what he deserved.
Awesome. So.
And then you have the last one.
I do. I think a consequence. I think a consequence is that Martha, who ignored the invitation to the symposium, is sitting at the dinner table with her son, and they're sitting like at opposite ends of the table in the head of the table position, and like all you hear is like the knives and forks scraping on the plates as occasionally the silence is broken by her saying, "Is it to your liking? The food? Like we used to make?" And her son is just like methodically chewing and like kind of like moving his hands open and closed, getting used to their dexterity again. He's like, "It's good, Mom. It's good." And as they're having this halted conversation, the room begins to fill with water from the cistern that is broken. And it's like at the table height, and then it's like at the shoulder height as they're both just sitting there looking at each other, like gazing into each other's eyes lovingly as the room is like filling up with water around them. And that's the consequence at Martha's place.
Wow, that's quite a consequence.
Oof. All right, the round is over. Rest stop, check in with everyone. How are we feeling? Do we feel like we can finish up the game soon?
I absolutely love the game. I think I'm pretty expended creativity-wise. But I would love to explore the city more, maybe do another session of this game sometime soon.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
But I think I'm hitting a wall for the day.
I think that sounds right. So let's move to ending a session. So once the table feels ready to wind down a session, you should play one final round to finish this game. But before you begin this final round, what questions are still unanswered? What aspects do you want to see more of? So I think just for our final round, we can do like a concluding scene. So maybe instead of like creating new things, we can go to a landmark, a neighborhood, or a resident that we've already created and provide some resolution, or perhaps if we like ambiguity, more unanswered questions. But it says, if everyone's gravitating towards one particular theme or idea, consider selecting the final compass as that idea. Otherwise, let it be a free-for-all without a specific compass.
Okay.
So I will turn this over to you, Josie, because I just did the last compass. And then maybe let's go to chat, and then, or unless you want to be let's have you be the final word so that you can kind of shape the end, actually.
So I think the free-for-all idea sounds fun.
Yeah, I think so too. Do you want to go first or last? I'm torn between having you be the first voice now or be the last word.
Why don't I go last?
Sounds good. Chat, I'll turn it over to you, actually. What is your question still unanswered, aspect of the city you want to see more of? What would you like to focus in on in this last round as we wrap our game today? And for me, I feel like I want to see, oh man, my question still unanswered is like what else was affected by the ethereal plane shifting? Why did it shift? Was it something that was triggered? Is there something controlling this action? I'm just really interested in like kind of the fate of this city as everything is beginning to change. I guess this is like a quasi compass. Did you start a card, Josie?
I was editing Dragonfly Heights to say that it flooded.
Oh, perfect. Oh yeah, I should probably edit the tower to say that it's gone. Oops. Mana, are the undead in the boneyard still there? If so, how are they free now, and how do they feel about that?
That's interesting.
Very interesting. Awesome.
So, during the final round, players may opt to create a neighborhood landmark or resident as normal. However, since no player chose a compass, any player may create an event for their final turn if they so choose.
Cool. Oh, cool. So we can create like movement in the story.
Yeah, so you can either create a new neighborhood, a landmark, a person, or create an event.
Cool. That's awesome. All right, chat. Oh, Celestial has a joke one. Does Dr. McPants wear pants? That is the hard-hitting question we all need to know. Chat, this is your turn, your final round turn. You can create a landmark, a neighborhood, or a resident, as we have been. Or you can create an event, which are those kind of game-changing Deus Ex Machina moments. We've had 2 events so far.
If an event is played during the final round, only the player who created the event takes on the voice of the city. Keep it brief, since there might be multiple events in the final round.
Cool, cool, cool. Ooh, another great question here from Mana. Is the dome gone? Is the outside threat now coming in? Can you guys pick one of these questions and create an event? Like, I'd love to hear from chat what the outcome is as an event, and we can build off of that. Kind of bring your event to life here. I'm going to put that question here with the city. Is the dome gone? Is the outside threat now coming in? So what happens? What's your event that you've selected? Or would you like us to pick one of those questions and create the event? I think there's 3 solid ones. Is the dome gone? I mean, like the pants. I feel like the pants is like the epilogue at the end of a Marvel movie. Like you get to the very end of the credits and it's like just Dr. McPants like, haha. All right, Celestial's got, in the further outskirts of the city, where the dome's magical foundations are. Ooh, I see something's building here. Outskirts. Don't know if this is an event or a location, but I got you. Ah, it's an event. In the further outskirts of the city where the dome's magical foundations are, light begins to shine through, and the residents realize they've never seen unfiltered sunlight. This is the event.
I'm sorry you broke up a little bit. Okay, reading it.
Sorry, that's Discord for you. Oops.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so here's the event. Mana is also supporting the dome question. So the event is in the further outskirts of the city where the dome's magical foundations are. Light begins to shine through, and the residents realize they've never seen unfiltered sunlight. I'll build on that and say, like, everyone's bracing themselves for the worst as the dome begins to lift and crack and splinter as the ethereal tower is sucked up into this plane, and the planar touched areas begin to shift and everything begins to change. The dome begins to crack, and the outside, the danger is coming through, except all that comes through is sunlight and the sound of birds chirping outside of this dome.
And the sun what?
The sun begins to filter through, and it's just birds chirping.
Okay, so posing a question, was there any threat at all, ever?
Doesn't appear to be. For my event, I'm going to take us to the boneyard, where as the sun begins to filter through the dome that has cracked and let in fresh air, the same fresh air that Frederica was smelling at the top of the tower, where the ethereal plane began to shift in with this world. The sunlight hits the sides of the zombies' faces, and these undead creatures begin to like form flesh again. And the half that's still in the domed world is still undead and corrupted, and the half that's hitting the light and the sunlight filtering in from outside the dome, the threat, begins to reform as human. And they all turn their faces to the sun like flowers in the sunlight, and their faces become normal human faces again. And you see them smile and then peacefully pass away, as they have now become once again fully dead and not undead creatures, and all of their tools clatter to the ground. That's the event in the boneyard.
Okay. Would you like to add any voices of the city to this? Consequences or questions or opinions?
To the dome one? Or to the one I just made with the boneyard?
To the one you just made.
No, but you are welcome to. As is chat.
Okay. I think I'm good.
I guess maybe I would just add for Princess Liana, she gets some of that sunlight flickering on her, bouncing off one of the arcade coins that she's holding. And it like lights up her face like one of those tanning booths. And she turns back into her 16-year-old self and smiles as well before she passes on.
And then I think as an event,
Just pausing really quick for a consequence from chat. Someone who
Oh.
passes silently through the boneyard daily on their commute realizes it's silent for the first time ever. The undead don't sleep or stop their mechanical working motions, so now it is completely silent in that area.
Wow. That's powerful. I think as an event, God, the whole campus area and university bathed in this light. This weird existence, like everything seems to melt. And it's almost as if the people of the university were keeping this light away intentionally because it threatened them. And everyone in the university, even though all the administrators and university workers, even though they looked human at the time, now pass into death, along with all of the undead.
Awesome.
And as a consequence, Dr. McPants, in the afterlife, takes off his robes of the university and puts on pants for the first time in his life.
Yes.
I had to epilogue that.
And the credits roll as his pants are affixed to his body. Oh my god, I love it. I am so thrilled at this game.
Wow, that was crazy.
That was wild. Thank you all for playing with us. Thank you, chat, for helping us build this awesome world.
Yes.
Thank you, Josie, for also building an awesome world. This was amazing. Holy moly.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. We should definitely save this and, like, put it somewhere. I don't know if you're, if there's somewhere that you have, like, text that your stream does, and maybe we can write something. I don't know.
Like
maybe a wiki.
Yeah. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah. I can
How
convert
cool would that
this.
be?
That'd be super neat. I mean, honestly, like, I love this both as like a game and also a world building tool.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So cool. Such powerful moments. And I also love how everything came together. I love the fact that the dome was protecting them from only what the university feared.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yup.
Oh, God. So good.
Amazing.
Questionable
Amazing.
functionality indeed.
Yes. Yes.
It's
I
the
totally
ultimate
forgot.
questionable functionality.
You know what's interesting is we never picked a name for the city.
That's true. Let's name it now. Also, Celestial brings up the point. It protects it from only what the university feared. For now, we don't know actually what's coming in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then says, "No, never mind. I love the callback to questionable functionality." All caps. I love ambiguous endings, so it works.
Yeah, and so.
What is the city's name? That's how we'll close it out today.
I have no ideas. I have 0 ideas. I'm so terrible with naming cities.
We have so many poetic things. Like we've got the Book of Twisting Morality and Absurdity, which he was obsessed with. The present is the past, and the past is the present symposium.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And we've got all the water stuff that
Yeah.
happened.
And also this sense of like the city had like a sense of like playfulness and also dread. Like with the arcade, but like the zombie. Like
Yes.
we had two polar opposites. We've got like a zombie boneyard of work and constant peril, and then like an arcade for amusement and diversion. A king.
What a city.
I know, right? Oh, also, I'm sure the king's hella pissed.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, and maybe I have no ideas for the city name. I'm so sorry.
What about like Celestial says, I think it needs to be fairly mundane to contrast with the high magic we've been throwing around. I mean, I also wonder, like, did they name it after the dome went up? Like, did it have a name before? Like, it probably had just, like, a very mundane name before. Like,
Yeah.
like City of the Flowing Waters or something, because it has so much to do with the water.
Yeah.
And then, like, maybe people just call it, like, Dome City or something like that after.
Watercrest.
Ooh. So, yeah, Watercrest. And then its slogan is City of the Flowing Waters.
Yes.
And then post-Dome, the Academy just kept calling it the Protected City as, like, the branding, right? Because they saved us.
Yep.
So cool.
Amazing.
Thank you all for joining us in the creation of Watercrest, City of the Flowing Waters. We had a really great time.
Oh my goodness, we have to play this with more people too.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's see if we can loop some more people in.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and if you ever do it, I am so in.
Awesome. Thank you so much for playing. Yeah, I will just say just some quick announcements. What we have coming up. Thursdays, we've got Outer Wilds in the evening. What else is happening? Saturday, we may or may not be playing Battlestar Galactica. Still have to confirm with some players, but that might be happening. And then next Sunday, I'm having an interview similar to the one we had, Josie, the coffee chat, Roll for Coffee, with GM Alex. So that'll be really exciting to hear from Alex on next Sunday. So yeah, tune in. Let's see, dropping all our socials in chat.
Definitely some good stuff coming up.
Thank you. I can't wait till we play again. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
And and Josie's. Let me drop Josie's. I think I have your stuff. Do I?
Yeah, I'm gonna start streaming pretty soon. I'm waiting for some equipment. But I'm back into Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO, so I'll probably be playing that a lot.
Awesome.
Maybe some cities, skylines, stuff like that.
That's why I thought of you for the city building, because I'm like, Josie loves city building in all aspects. She'll be into this probably.
Yeah, I totally am.
So let's raid Roll the Roll. They're playing Monster of the Week, which, as you all know, I love, and we usually feature on Sundays. So let's go check them out with a raid, and thank you all for playing. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye!